So for your lab assignment, there are two different programs you're going to write. There are examples in the key points that are very similar to what you are going to need to do. And I've actually tried to help you out here by including a link to those examples so you can take a look at them while you are, writing up your code. This first program, you're going to call it public transport, and you're going to create a transportation class. And this program, I mean, as you can probably tell in the name, you are going to be creating public fields in this one. So you're going to have a field called type, manufacturer, and year. They are going to be string, and you need to declare them as public. And then because these are public, you're not going to need quite so many methods. You're going to need a constructor that initializes to blanks because these are all string. And then you need a parameterized constructor that accepts data being passed when the object is created. And then finally, you're going to need a print method, and it should display something similar to this. So that's what you need in the transportation class. And then in your main method, you're going to create a transportation object named boat, and you're going to use the default constructors. Then you are going to set the boat object type, manufacturer, and year to different values. So you pick the values. So here is an example of, a run that I did on this. So I called my object boat. I set the type. Here's the prompt for the type, and I set it to sailboat, manufacturer, and the year. Okay, and so then after you create the object and you set values to type, manufacturer, and year, you're going to use that boat object to call the print method. And that is what I did. And you can see the printout. Then you're going to create a transportation object named car. And for car, you're going to use the parameterized constructor. So you're going to pass the type, manufacturer, and year. Then you're going to use the car object to call the transportation print method. Okay, so this second little set is from that. So I did a convertible Mercedes 2023. Okay, and then finally, you're going to use console.writeline to print the boat object's year and type, followed by the car object's year and type. And that is what this last line is. Okay, so that'll be your whole program. And then what I want you to do is you're going to copy the code in your file to a text file or to the Moodle Dropbox, and then you'll paste it. So how is this going to look? So I'm just going to show you using this example. So I'll actually throw that into Visual Studio so it'll look more official for you. All right, so here's that example in Visual Studio. I'm going to click in here. I'm going to press Control and A, the letter A. That'll highlight. Control and the letter C, copies. And then I've got to go into Moodle. All right, let me switch over here. And we'll move that up here. So this is Moodle. Here's the Dropbox. So I'm going to add a submission. And you can actually just paste it down here, pressing Control and the letter V. Okay, and because you guys are going to have two programs, I probably put a little comment in here, program 1. Okay, and then you can submit that. Okay, and then when you are ready to add program 2, you can just edit your submission and go to the bottom and put in program number 2 and paste your second program in there. Okay, so that's one way to do this. The other way to do it, if you don't like that, is to go into Notepad. And I use Notepad a lot, so it's on my taskbar, but you guys probably don't use it that often. So you can come up here, do a little search on Notepad, comes with Windows. You can launch that. Control V, pastes. And we'll just save this as program 1. I'm going to put it there so I can find it. Lesson 12. Okay, and then I have to find it on my drive. You don't want that maximized because you're going to have to drag it. So I threw it in there so I could find it easy. So I'm just going to drag it over here. And when this has got the blue outline around it, you can release. And there it is. Okay. And again, for the second program, all you have to do is come in and edit, and you should be able to add that as well. All right, so on to the second program. So this one, you're going to create another program, and you're going to call it Private Tourists. So probably you guys figured out that this one, you're going to have private fields. So we have an integer and 3 strings. And you're going to do a default constructor and a parameterized constructor for this class that you're creating. Constructors should be public. You're going to create a get and a set method for ID. And I do have an example. Okay, so this is the private example. Then you'll have to do a get and a set method for first name, same thing for last name, same thing for destination. And you're going to do a print method for first and last name called print full name. And basically, if the first name was Scooby and the last name was Dew, that is how it would look. And then you're going to do a print method for destination called print destination. And that will have like a little text header followed by whatever was stored in the destination field. And then in your main method, you're going to create a new tourist class object, and it's going to be called person1. And when you create that object, you're going to pass it a value for ID, first name, last name, and destination. You pick those values. Okay, doesn't matter to me. I chose Scooby-Doo and Hawaii. And then you're going to print the full name and the destination for your person1 object. That's what I did here. Then you're going to do a second tourist class object named person2. And for person2, you're going to use set ID, set first name, set last name, and set destination to place values into the class members. Okay, and there is the example. So these are the set methods, and here's where we're using them. Okay. So you need to basically do the same thing. And then you're going to print out person to values using get first name, get last name, and get destination. So here's like a little example of what your output should look like. So you're going to be using a console.write for these. You are not going to be calling the print methods. Okay, you're going to be doing like your own little custom printout here. So I had to use get first name, I had to use get last name, and then concatenated that with, the rest of the text. And then for the second line for the destination, I had some text. I concatenated that with the get destination and then added in some more text. So this is the entire program. And then again, once it's done, you are going to need to upload the code. So you're either going to copy and paste directly into the Dropbox, or you're going to put it into like a notepad file and then upload that. If you have any questions about what you need to do or you run into problems, let me know. If it's a problem with your code, send me the code. Okay, so you can actually copy and paste into your email the same way that you do it into the Dropbox. Or, if you prefer to use Notepad, you can put it into a Notepad file and send it that way.